Today, many countries resent the current petrodollar system. Their leading spokesperson is none other than Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Americans should be very worried about what Putin can do. There is a new Cold War going on. It is the colder war. That is exactly what's going on. And who's in the center of this push? Vladimir Putin. And the petrodollar is so crucial to the colder war. The only thing holding America right now at the top is the petrodollar. And let me make it very clear. If the petrodollar dies, so does America as a superpower.
Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Salutations to the elect. Peace and blessings to you brothers here at home in the Yakim pushing this truth worldwide. Barawak wa ba'amath. Shalom Yasharallah. I pray I'm of that number. In any event, we are almost home. Now, it wasn't until I had did my last lesson that I finally got to break bread, so to speak, with the elders of the other Toronto camp. Due to the restrictions out here, the initial camp was split in two. Double honors unto you elders. Peace and blessings to you Akim. By the way, you most certainly do rule well. Again, it wasn't until I got to sup with the camp in its entirety that I realized, they being wiser than me in the service, of course, that we've all been tuning into pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen. The name of the event we've been popping corn to, Israel, is entitled Russia versus Ukraine, live from the Distraction Theater. And to make it absolutely clear, I say it that way so that you literally take it and understand I mean it in every sense of the word. Now, let me say this. I was never totally oblivious. Never mind knowing everything is subject to live entertainment in Esau world. Because this is the Lord's movie, and entertainment in the hands of these witches and warlocks of the elite really means to enter, i.e. go in, tain, simply put, to take over the ment, the place for specified action in the Latin mente from the Proto-Indo-European meaning to think. Ment ultimately speaks to the mind. Let's get this. Revelation 17 and 12. And it reads, And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. January 1st, 1958 is when the 10 kings, initial 10 rulerships of the European Economic Community, better known as the European Common Market, today known as the EU, the European Union, received its charter and started its operation. Really, it started off with 6 member nations who had signed the Treaty of Paris in 51. By 52, when it took effect, they founded the ECSC, the European Coal and Steel Community. In 57, they signed the 2 treaties of Rome, becoming the EAEC, the European Atomic Energy Community, spearheading development in the field, and then the EEC. In 59, they set up their headquarters in Brussels, Belgium, planting 10 flagpoles, which really represented the 10 countries of the Western European Union, established for what? European security and defense. And by now, you should know who the beast is. Needless to say, if you've been listening and learning, then you know it is NATO, including America, which is Babylon, as well as Canada, interchangeable with the so-called white establishment, starting with the international bankers and elite globalists. As far as 1 hour, that time is approaching its end. Verse 13, and here's the point. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Now, to make it clear, the 10 horns speaks to the European Union's infrastructure. Again, formerly the EEC, Economic European Union. In origin, speaking to, now some say the 10 common markets, but again, I will point to the 10 countries of the WEU, established in 1955 to 2011 for European security and defense. Now, they say the 12 5-pointed stars of the EU flag symbolizes the Virgin Mary as the woman of apocalypse, wearing a crown of 12 stars. Their words, not mine, and has nothing to do with the original membered countries, which we know speaks to another example of the deception of the serpent and the blasphemy of the beast. But when you look at the 12 main countries it could easily represent, they really should be counted as 10. The UK and Ireland are one, and Spain and Portugal being the other. In any event, the 7 heads of Revelation represent the NATO nations, all European Edomites, and the 10 horns, which now number 27, I believe, represent the economic faction of the beast. Ergo, NATO, the EU, including the United States and Canada, bolster Babylon beast system and the nation of Edom in its entirety. Again, beginning with the international bankers who have created the aforementioned song and dance to rock you to sleep and two-step you out of your wallet. The new public offering being cryptocurrency, of course, namely Bitcoin and NFTs, which will lead to the digital implementation by the same B system ending with the MOTB, RFID microchip. Proverbs 22:7 says this: "The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender." Understand the dynamics. The rich keep getting richer, and the poor get what? Y'all know it well. Don't get a goddamn thing. Considering cryptocurrency like paper money isn't backed by anything but empty promises and greed, you might know it as debt. The so-called powers that be, who have made a living out of conniving and duping the unsuspecting out of their hard-earned money, put these devices in play to keep you poor as what? A system of control. The more you borrow, the more embedded in debt you become and are subject to the will of whosoever is in the power seat. This time it's the technocrats who have infiltrated your federal government. In any event, what wasn't sitting well with me were a couple of things. You know that itch you get in the back of your mind when things don't sound right to you, but you can't place your finger on exactly what's going on. And, you know, just to say that, well, it's Esau and his level of deceit again, is just sometimes just not enough. One being President Zelensky's critically acclaimed quote, sure y'all have heard it by now, "I need ammunition, not a ride." To be honest, when I first heard it, I was like, this nigga knows ain't shit gonna happen to him. What did Loaded Lux say? You, Jim Lampley, and Larry Merchant, you just talk a good fight. Come to find out, not only was he an actor, this guy's the real Jerry Seinfeld. Please stand up. Right? Pardon the pun. But this guy is not only a small hat, he's also an actor and a comedian. After coming to the conclusion he had to have been groomed by these small hats who, of course, perform at a higher pay grade than he, the same who, chances are, collectively still trying to corner the oil market in that region. One of the many reasons Putin is going to show his horns of aggression pursuant to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. I don't know about you within the circumference of my voice, but I can hear the elite still laughing now. Matter of fact, they ain't laughing at us. They really laughing at y'all if you're outside of this truth. The joke really is on you now, isn't it? I mean, truth be told, if everything wasn't going as planned, the elders are right, man. The elite would have popped Putin's top a long time ago. And the truth is, this military coup has been sanctioned by the powers behind the curtain. This is why corporate, and as of late, most alternative media news sources are reporting that Russia's, they chose the wrong strategy, is how I've heard it worded, and their aggression is being thwarted, when in all reality, the Ukraine is having their hats handed to them. And if not for the theatric distraction, which includes the readying of Russian allies with their own agendas, they would have already been up out of here, without a shadow of a doubt. Yahweh says this according to the fate of Edom and Babylon, which is America. Psalms 59:7, and it reads, "Behold, they belch out with their mouth. Swords are in their lips," meaning everything that comes out of their mouth is violence on the earth and wickedness against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua and his people. "For who, say they, doth hear?" Meaning they say what they please, and they could care less who hears them. "But thou, O Lord Yahweh, shalt laugh at them," meaning disappoint their crafty counsels and hinder them in performing their enterprises. Thou shalt have all the heathen in derision, meaning shame them and confuse them in their own confusion. The other things that stood out in my mind was Russia and their cyber capabilities, and if it was another form of strategy, not using it. You know what I mean? Instead of exposing their abilities as well as the flaws in their military for the world to see. Now, some will say they only become expendable if you understand that it's not about conventional warfare anymore. And I think I brought that out in my last lesson. It's about nuclear warheads and second strike capabilities, which we know will happen and cannot be turned back because the Lord has declared it pursuant to, again, Ezekiel the 38th and Revelation the 12th chapter, respectfully. Into me, the covert operation being carried out here. And so let's make this plain upon tables, make it clear. While you were fast awake is to tank the economy. The Ukraine is just a smokescreen. NATO could have easily set up nukes on Poland's border if there was an imminent threat. While gold, silver, gas, and oil prices go up, bans on Russian oil imports and ensuing sanctions really only hurts the West, particularly you citizens of the Americas, and specifically the middle class, which has always been the plan since the pandemic. Obliterate mom and pop stores, obliterate the middle class. So one of the other isms that I usually talk about, matter of fact, let's get this. Psalm 58:3, and it reads, the wicked, speaking of course, Esau, Edom, the international bankers, the global elitists, including the technocracy and big pharma, NATO and the EU, the Edomite leaders of the so-called free world, pursuant to Job 9:24, wicked hands, wicked earth, are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, doing what? Speaking lies. The government, there's that meant again, won't get out of the way and restart the Keystone Pipeline now, will they? So what if it's Canadian oil? They won't tap the resources they have in Pennsylvania or the natural gas bubble offshore in Louisiana. Why? Because their every inclination is to deceive you and sow a false narrative. For those of you who have been watching my channel, I made mention of it last year with Biden's desire to convert from oil and push his green energy agenda. So tell me if you think it's a coincidence that the U.S. has lost 2 million barrels of oil capability since he's been in office. And who's paying for it? You. Verse 4, their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth what? Stoppeth her ear. The poison that stoppeth the ear, that is aimed at stopping you from receiving this truth, which in all reality speaks to those outside of the elect, is his philosophies: socialism, communism, New Ageism, feminism, transgenderism, racism, and let's not forget capitalism, which for it to truly work as intended, you have to remove the middle class. These are the examples of E-Dum-Dum's poison, meaning wicked philosophies that can instantly kill, which is being demonstrated by this scuffle happening in the Ukraine, not to mention our own neighborhoods filled with frustrated youth and violence. Or it can rot you from the insides in the same effed up environment with needles and dope, as well as the structure of your family, no matter where you sit on the poverty line, your house, your home, any sense of stability or security you thought you might have, trusting in a so-called viable, what the hell is that in these times, viable, it's backed by nothing, mierto, nothing, niente, come on, it's dead. There ain't no economy here, been dead. Viable economic world system, a hope that never truly existed over periods of time. Let's close with this. I want to pull 3 verses out of Jeremiah, the 23rd chapter, speaking to the false prophets of the day, the talking heads of the mainstream media who do the bidding of their God, the elite globalists, who really want to do away with petrol and diesel powered vehicles, ergo no more gas cars, planes, or travel by sea. Real food, i.e. food production, meaning agriculture and livestock, clean air, forestry, the sun, and any and everything his one beast-like mind in unison can muster. They want to get rid of it all. Don't let them fool you. Don't believe the hype. Jeremy in the Apocrypha, for those who study. But Jeremy 23:17 says this: They say still unto them that despise me, Yahweh hath said, Ye shall have peace. And they say unto everyone that walketh after the imagination of his own heart, No evil shall come upon you. Salakia. And that is exactly what these modern day foretellers of these global events we see taking place are saying and predicting. Don't worry. I know you're broke and it seems like you can't find no way out, but trust me. Trust your God. Everything is going to go back to normal. Don't sweat it. Your God will guide you. The so-called white man you elected, he will declare your way. He will reinstall peace and tranquility to all the mass. Yeah, right. Man, come on, man. Y'all need to wake up. Verse 18. For who has stood in the counsel of the Lord Yahweh? The counsel of the Lord is when the Most High gives, or should I say reveals to you his secrets. And hath perceived and heard his word. Who hath marked his word and heard it? And the answer being the elect men of the Lord, out on the highways and hedges, doing these sit downs, the men that he has set up and chosen. That's who? Jeremiah 23:19. Behold, a whirlwind of the Lord is gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. Now, in the Hebrew, the word here for whirlwind speaks to a tempest, meaning a storm or hurricane. We know it to speak to the chariots, first and foremost, of the Lord. The real motivation behind the building of these nukes, the nukes which are really a part of the Lord's army. The word here, Salakia, also speaks to figuratively being tossed around or sore troubled by what? The word and its truth rushing out. Tell me the Spirit isn't falling grievously on the head of Dum. Jeremiah 23:20. The anger of Yahweh shall not return until he hath executed, until he hath performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it perfectly. Meaning all these prophecies must be fulfilled before the Most High destroys weak and wicked Esau and Babylon. Wars, rumors of wars, and I'm talking about Esau's establishment because he got some time to serve with us. As I was saying, wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes, famine, pestilence, and plagues, World War III, and the implementation of the RFID, the MOTB, the mark of the beast man and his beast system. In the latter days, ye shall consider it perfectly. Speaking to the elect men of the Lord, the teachers and the prophets, they shall consider it perfectly in the sense the coming of Yahushua is being made more and more manifest. Not only by the sightings of the chariots, the increase in storms, the insurrections and natural disasters, but by his words coming to pass. Let's jump down to Jeremiah 20:24. Can any hide himself in the secret places that I shall not see him, saith Yahweh? Do not I fill heaven and earth, saith the Lord? Again, Dum and D attempts to hide himself amongst who he has declared to be different nations. The Spaniards, the Portuguese, South Africans, the Dutch, French, British. He's not Ukrainian. No, he's Israeli. Never mind, he's Russian. I'll forget it, he's American. He can front for the dead and still asleep, but the Lord has revealed who you really are. You can hide in bunkers and plot from your dumbs, but when we find you, we gonna find you. Con. Now let's go to Jeremiah 23:29. That's some Hebrew hopscotch for your ass, vocab. And it reads, Is not my word like as fire, saith the Lord Yahweh, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? The rock is what? The foundation of Esau's rulership, the strongholds of white supremacy and plantation Christianity. Esau's rock ain't the cornerstone, it's the capstone of his fraternal orders. Furthermore, it isn't the heat of the fire or the strength of the hammer. The power is in the mouth who has formed the word, and the strength is in the arm that wields the tool. Jeremiah 5:14. Wherefore thus saith the Lord, power of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them. The word of the Lord is our weapon. It will not go out void, and it accomplishes what he pleases. No matter what wicked device you come up with, Yahweh's will is already done, Esau. We are just going through the motions. This people would is speaking of the 2/3 of Yasharallah, you pick and choose Israelites, Esau and the other nations who think they got next and stand to oppose this truth and the coming of the Lord. Call halal Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahshai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash, through the power and spirit. I hope you are edified. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach 100% truth and rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Remember, no test, no, and damn sure don't take that chip. Shalom, Yasharallah. Wa abad babal.
And when you have 190,000 Russian troops on the border of a fairly important country like Ukraine, and now an invasion that's taking lives, and the objective of which remains unclear, it's understandably going to gather attention. But you're right in the larger sense that in the grand scheme of major threats to the free world, to the United States, to India, China's Communist Party is far and away the leading threat that we confront. And there is no indication in this administration that there is seriousness or the sort of magnitude of strategic plan that I believe is necessary to counter that threat.